And finally, Caroline Jones.
Diolch Dipyrllywydd. Thank you for your statement, Minister, and I too would like to pay tribute to the work and dedication of Carl Sargent in this area. As others have highlighted, outcomes for looked after children are well below those of children who are not in our care system. We have to provide additional support for these children who have already had the worst possible start in life. However, according to Action on Children Cymru, there is a postcode lottery in the support available to children in care. This is unacceptable. I am pleased that the Welsh Government have acknowledged this and have allocated additional funding to improve the life chances for these young people. I would also like to acknowledge the work undertaken by David Meldin, who has a long and distinguished record for standing up for looked after children, and I am pleased that David will continue to chair the Ministerial Advisory Group. I have just a couple of questions for you, Minister. There have been a number of concerns raised about children's services in Bridgend, and we are told that the courts in Bridgend have lost trust in the local authority's ability to carry out its duties with regards to looked after children. This has led to a number of children being placed out of county. Minister, what steps are you taking to end the postcode lottery referred to by Action on Children? How will you ensure that children's services are able to fulfil their duties to both protect young people, ensure they achieve the best possible outcomes, and put an end to out-of-county placements where possible? Minister, I am pleased to see that there is additional funding to support care leavers on their journey towards independence. This is an area that we have in the past failed in. The recent Children in Need DIY SOS programme highlighted the absolutely fantastic work undertaken by the Roots Foundation in my region. As well as running an activities centre for young people in care, Roots provided support housing for young people in care and leaving care. They help provide the necessary skills to enable young care leavers to live independently. Minister, does your government have any plans to replicate the work of the Roots Foundation to other parts of Wales? And finally, Minister, what is your government doing to support charities like Roots, who play a vital role in supporting looked after children and help to improve outcomes for these vulnerable young people? Thank you again for your statement, and I hope that we can all work together collaboratively to improve outcomes for looked after children. Thank you.
Minister.
And thank you very much for those comments, and you're welcome again, and the recognition of Carl's work in this area as well. One of the ways in which we're looking to take that step forward and to avoid this postcode lottery situation, or the way that there are differences, variability. We want, by the way, to have innovation. We want innovation. We want it to be based on the needs of the local population and what those needs of those children in care or children facing a care situation are. But we need to make sure that they have quality services provided to them, quality support. Now, part of that, in terms of, for example, the early intervention and the early years, is trying to roll out best knowledge and best practice on what actually works, and then allow in those local areas to pick up the very best rather than constantly reinventing the wheel. Now, one approach to that is we're taking an approach to early years integration based on early intervention and prevention, an integrated early years system for families and parents. Now, what we're aiming to do with this is to ensure that all programmes and services for the early years come together seamlessly to get the best value for parents and children. We know there are some in the Bridgend area. There are some really good individual programmes for families and young people. How do you pull them together seamlessly within, I have to acknowledge again, the limited resources available? In fact, that puts an added incentive, make sure that they work together well. So my officials have begun discussions with colleagues across Welsh Government, from health, social services and education, to scope how we take this forward with the goal of achieving a much more coherent and focused approach to those early years. And a key component of this programme will be an intensive project with 2 public service boards, one in the valleys and one in North Wales, to see how early years services might be reconfigured based on closer work in between the local health boards, local authorities, Welsh Government and other partners. So the idea is we design services which support this long-term preventative approach. And it could potentially be a model to be utilised more widely across Wales. Now, that's the approach we're thinking through at different levels of intervention. How do we make it seamless? How do we learn best practice and share it across the Wales? You referred to interest in organisation routes. I'd like to find out more about that, look at it. I don't think we're so much in the era now of simply identifying a group and saying, well, here's a Welsh Government grant. What we are in the business, however, of saying is that the local partners on the ground should be, with the funding available, looking at what the needs of that local population is, and then deciding who can provide that best. But I'd like to hear more about that project, if perhaps we can talk or you can write to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much.